girl, what are you doing? Ask more questions. This is kind of important. My jaw was on the literal floor and I had to take a moment to collect myself. Okay, I lied. So I finally read the Inheritance Games trilogy and I thought it'd be fun to share my experience with you guys. I know there's like 2 other books in this series, but from my understanding they take place after the events of these 3, so maybe I'll read them eventually, but for now these are the 3 that I read. But for a quick synopsis, we're following this girl named Avery and she just recently found out that she's inheriting a billionaire's entire fortune. But the whole situation is really weird because she does not know this man and his whole family was expecting a little bit of money. But this man leaves behind a bunch of games and puzzles for her to play to figure out exactly why he would leave all this money to her. And that's pretty much all I knew going into this book. I had a lot of fun reading these books, and as you'll see in the vlog, the series follows me to New York City and to Florida, so I'll always associate them with those memories. But with that, let's go back 2 weeks ago to when I first started the first book. So I started the Inheritance Games really late last night and I was really tired, so I only meant to read like 1 or 2 chapters, but I'm already on chapter 6. I'm completely flying through them because these chapters are so short. Like, I'm not even kidding, there was 1 chapter that was only 2 pages long and now I'm kind of obsessed with that. I feel like all my books should have chapters this short. But yeah, I'm just being introduced to some of the characters so far and the main mystery. I have so many questions and I really want to know where this story is going. Despite how popular this book is, I've managed to avoid a lot of spoilers and I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of a game involved, but I don't really know what's going to happen beyond that. I have some theories based on what's already happening, but again, not much has happened so far. I'm actually going to be leaving for New York City soon. I'm going to be there for the weekend, so I don't know how much of this book I'll be able to read while I'm there, but I'm really excited for this trip because I'm going to be visiting some of the most popular bookstores while I'm there. Usually I don't have time to go to any bookstores while I'm in New York, but this time I'm making time, and if I do go to any, I'll film it for you guys. And if I do, that video will probably be posted by the time this reading vlog goes up, so check that out if you're interested. So it's been a few days since I was in New York. I actually just finished filming that video, so you'll notice the same outfit. But I wanted to give you guys a quick update of where I am in the Inheritance Games. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't actually made that much progress since my last update. I've been feeling really sick ever since coming home, but I do have a few thoughts that I thought would be fun to go over with you guys. So far, we're still getting to know the characters, and the story is kind of moving a little slow for me, I'm gonna be honest. And there's so many characters to keep up with that I started keeping a note of like all their names and how they're related to each other to kind of keep track of them. I don't know how much I can really say without giving any spoilers, but we are finally getting into the main plot and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Okay, yeah, so you guys don't get scared ever?
We get scared.
We all get scared, Joel, but you get really scared.
So it's been a whole day since my last update. Last night was Friday, so I had like a little movie night. That's the footage you saw earlier. I watched this cute apocalyptic movie with Dylan O'Brien called Love and Monsters. And yeah, it was just a fun time, and then afterwards I stayed up really late reading. But yeah, I made really good progress in this book and I'm really starting to enjoy it. I don't know if we've already talked about this. This whole vlogging thing is kind of new for me, so it's all kind of a blur. But we're kind of getting introduced to the love triangle in this, or what I think is going to be a love triangle. I'm really not a fan of one of the guys. I really ship her with only one of them. I'm really curious what the rest of the internet feels on this topic. Like I said, I tried really hard to avoid spoilers, and maybe he'll redeem himself later, but I'm just not feeling him right now. Let me know in the comments who you ship her with, because that's always fun. I always tell myself that I hate love triangles, but then I get really invested in the ship wars. But now let's talk about the mystery. I'm getting really invested in it, but I do wish that it would pick up a little bit. I'm used to reading thrillers that tend to be more fast-paced, but I am enjoying it. There was a moment in this where I was really annoyed with the main character. There's some high stakes stuff happening going on that involve her. She basically finds out this really crazy news that could affect her, but she decides to just not ask very many questions. And I'm just like, girl, what are you doing? Ask more questions. This is kind of important. Unrelated to the story, but I'm also really mad because I took my book on an errand run and I spilled coffee all over it. Luckily, it's not too bad, but I'm not happy. But yeah, I'm gonna try to finish this book today. We'll see what happens. If you guys can't tell, I'm kind of a slow reader. I really want to know where this story is going. I'm really glad I bought the whole series already because they ain't gonna leave me on a cliffhanger. But I'm really invested in this story and I really want an answer to this mystery. Like I mentioned, I'm used to reading standalone thrillers where you get like a satisfying ending at the end, but I'm trying to curb my expectations because there's 2 other books in this series and I'll probably won't get any answers in this one, but we'll see. I got my blanket and my book and I'm gonna sit here and read for a little bit. Hey guys, so I just finished the Inheritance Games and I started the Hawthorne Legacy, so let's talk about where we're at. So I really enjoyed the Inheritance Games overall. I had a lot of fun reading it, and we did get some answers at the end of this book that I wasn't sure if we were going to get or not. There's even a plot twist that I kind of did anticipate, but I still had fun when it was revealed. I'm trying to figure out what I can say without giving too much away, but there was some moments in this where my jaw was on the literal floor and I had to take a moment to collect myself. I do want to do like a full spoilery book review on this, so we'll discuss more in detail then if I ever do that. There was some some things that I really loved, but there was also some things I didn't enjoy as much. In terms of the love triangle, I think I said earlier that I definitely had a favorite. I still do prefer him over the other guy, but something happens that just I was not a fan of. But like I said, I still do prefer him, but it can go anyway at this point. Oh, and how are we feeling about Tobias Hawthorne? I'm really curious what you guys think about him. I think he's a very fascinating guy. I love learning more about how he raised the boys and how he shaped who they are now. I also love the puzzles, and I love how he built the house as like some kind of cool labyrinth. But I also think he's a little cruel, especially with this game that he created. I don't know if I would necessarily do that to my family. Yeah, I'm really curious what your perspectives are. If you guys leave any comments, please indicate if it's a spoiler or not for anyone who hasn't read this book yet or the series yet. But yeah, I had fun with this and I really liked the characters. Max was kind of a surprise character that I wasn't expecting to really care about that much, but I actually really enjoyed her contribution to the story, and I thought she kind of added a little bit of depth to Avery's character. Okay, now let's talk about the Hawthorne legacy. This book kind of starts at the football game, which they did mention in the inheritance games that there would be some kind of football game at some point, and I wasn't really sure what to expect from that. I'm not a huge sports girl, so I was kind of dreading it if I'm being honest, but luckily it wasn't that bad. There's a lot of drama that happens like before the game and during the game that I enjoyed. We did get some answers at the end of the inheritance games, but we also found out some news that we're gonna explore more in this one. But yeah, I'm not that far into it. I think I read like 20 pages or something last night, but I'm excited to read it and we'll see what happens. But I'm going to continue reading this book today, and I'm also actually packing right now. I'm leaving for Florida this weekend. My trips aren't usually this close together since I did just come back from New York and now I'm leaving again for Florida, but I'm actually really excited. I'm so ready for some warm sunny weather. It's currently raining outside. I know you can't tell because I have all these lights up, but it's pretty cloudy and dreary outside. I just need some vitamin D really bad, and I'm excited to read on the beach, and I'm also going to go to some bookstores kind of like I did in New York, and I'll probably film that for you guys because if I'm going there anyways, I might as well film it for you guys. I love watching travel vlogs, so this is kind of like my bookish spin on that. But yeah, I'm going to continue packing, and next time I give you guys a book update, I'll probably be in Florida. Okay, I lied. So I told you guys that the next time you'd see me, I'd probably be in Florida, but right after saying that, I ended up reading like more than half the book and I finished the rest this morning. So I wanted to hop on here real quick and give you my thoughts while they're still fresh in my mind. Let's start with the obvious one, and that's that I flew through this entire book. I definitely enjoyed this book more than I enjoyed the first one. I know I told you guys that I liked that book overall, and that's still true, but I just feel like this one was so much better. I was invested in the story, I was invested in the characters. I felt like the mystery was moving along faster and I cared more about this mystery a little bit. The first book, you're trying to figure out why Avery got all this money, and I do definitely care about that. But as you'd imagine, since it is the first book, there was just so much build up. I don't know, it just took me a long time to get into it, and there was actually some moments where I didn't want to read. That's why it took me so long to finish it. I really enjoyed the characters more in this one too. I think they were just like more fleshed out. Max is also a bigger part of this story, and like I mentioned earlier, I really like Max and she kind of helps to move the plot along. This was also really sad, which I genuinely was not expecting. There were so many moments where I was actually getting kind of emotional as we were learning more backstories and getting more reveals. I will say though that I didn't love the final few pages, and I was kind of confused like where this is going. Like I have no idea what to expect from the next book after finishing this one. Sorry, I know I'm being very vague. I'm just trying really hard to keep this spoiler free as possible. But I'm really excited to start the next one. I don't think I'll be reading it today because I have to leave for Florida tonight. Next time I see you guys, I'll probably be in Florida for real this time. I'm finally in Florida. I've been here for a few days, and last night I saw the SpaceX rocket launch. I'll try to put like a video that one of my relatives took. We weren't anywhere near the launch site. We were really far away, so it's kind of small, but it was a really cool experience, and I really wasn't expecting to see that during this visit. Sorry if it's really loud. I'm really close to the highway, and there's like a lot of birds chirping too. In terms of the final gambit, I'm making really good progress, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I am not loving this book. In the second book, The Hawthorne Legacy, we were kind of sort of introduced to a new character. You'll know what I mean by kind of sort of if you read that book. And this book follows that character more, and I'm just not a huge fan of that storyline. Like I do really want to know where the mystery is going, but my motivation is super weak right now. But I'm gonna push through, and hopefully my next update will be more positive. I do have a lot of time to read during this trip, which is good. This is more of a family trip, so there's a lot more downtime. But in terms of filming, it's a lot harder because there's always somebody around. But obviously I was able to get away today to film, so I kind of want to take advantage and like maybe even film like a TikTok video or two. I was thinking about doing like a get ready with me while I talk about this series, but we'll see what happens. And if I do do end up making it, I'll link it down below if anyone is interested. But anyways, what I was trying to say with all that is I don't really know how all this footage is going to come together because I'm just kind of filming when I can. But that applies to this entire reading vlog. This is my first reading vlog, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm kind of just making it up as I go along. So I'm kind of nervous to edit this video, but hopefully it's not too bad. And regardless, this is a learning process and the next reading vlog will hopefully be better. I'm back home now, and it's been a few days since I finished this book, and I just wanted to say I get it. The ending of this book was just so good. I feel like majority of this book, I was like, it's good, but just not as good as the other two books. And I honestly would have been satisfied if the Hawthorne Legacy, the second book, was the last book. But then around like chapter 68 or 69, finally this book started making a lot more sense, and I was like, okay, I understand the purpose of this book. Almost all the loose ends of the mystery make a lot more sense after this one, and I think they were nicely tied up. I will be honest though, I wasn't a huge fan of in this and how his character developed. And like I already said, I did not love the new character. But I did have a good time reading this overall, and I'm really curious about the next book and the one that's still coming out called The Grandest Game. So I might read those eventually, and I'll let you guys know what I think about them. But overall, I had a really good time with this series, and it's really hard to walk away from all the characters in the world. So maybe I'll read the next two books. But that's it for this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see more from me, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!